Welcome back to Athletic Everyday, day number 352. This workout I started out with some seated box jumps. I haven't actually done seated box jumps properly before, but I can see the utility of doing this kind of exercise, like the stimulus that this will have on the body. Obviously comparing it to the most similar mechanical movement, which would be just a regular broad jump. The difference is obviously doing it off of a box and landing on a box. The difference being that when you're going from a box, it's eliminating some of the bottom range of motion. So that you would get and the counter movement that you would get from doing a regular broad jump. So when you're seated on this box, and you're having to basically explode from that specific position, it's not completely concentric only. You're not only doing concentric muscle actions in this movement. You can see as I swing my arms up and I sort of lift my feet, I am going to get a little bit of stretch reflex, but obviously the fact that the box is there underneath my butt is essentially eliminating a very significant portion of that stretch reflex. The benefit of this is that it's adding one more context in which your body is being forced to produce large or maximal amounts of force under that is going to then improve your movement literacy. It's going to improve your capacity to produce force in another way. And this is just really fun. I really enjoyed this exercise. You can obviously, there's loads of ways you can vary this. You can obviously increase the distance between the boxes. You can increase the height of the boxes that you're trying to jump onto, or you can increase either of the two. So you're sort of adjusting the vertical or horizontal component of the vertical jump. I quite like increasing the distance between the boxes, because no matter how far you try and do a broad jump, there always is going to be some kind of vertical component to the vertical jump that you're going to be doing there, to the horizontal jump that you're going to do. It doesn't matter how far that distance is, you're always going to have to jump vertically. So I think it was Blaine McConnell posting on Instagram at some point in the past. If he could choose between doing two different types of jumps, if he had to choose between vertical or broad jumps to do for the rest of his life, he had to pick one and not the other. He said that it would be broad jumps, and I have to say I agree with him, because his logic was, like I was just saying earlier, when you do a broad jump, there is always a vertical component, whereas when you do a vertical jump, there is minimal to no horizontal component. So when you do a broad jump and you improve your broad jumps, whichever variety of broad jump you decide to do, you're probably going to also you're also going to improve your vertical jump. Maybe not as specifically as if you were just doing vertical jumps, but I think you kill more birds with a single movement, as it were. You kill more birds with a single stone, or you get more benefits from a single movement by doing broad jumps and emphasizing broad jumps, as opposed to vertical jumps. But obviously he finished up the post with saying, obviously we're not in that situation where we have to choose between vertical and broad jumps. You can choose both, but I think that he makes a good point in that the utility of doing broad jumps is, in theory, slightly more than just doing vertical jumps. So that was sort of the reasoning and the logic behind doing some seated broad jumps. I really love seated broad jumps. Obviously I can't jump as far or as high as Blaine McConnell can, but hey, it's fun to do those exercises. Then I moved into some snatch triples. I worked up to a top set of 83 kilos, if I'm not mistaken, which is the heaviest triple I've ever done for a snatch. Then I got cocky and I decided that I would go for, I got greedy, I guess you could say. And I decided to see if I could go for a 85 kilo triple, and missed every single rep. The first rep I was kind of like, oh, that's just like a training make, I could make the next one. And then I completely missed the next one and completely missed the next one as well. It wasn't because I wasn't pulling the bar high enough, it was just because the fatigue was setting in. I wasn't able to pull myself under the bar quickly enough, and I couldn't fixate the bar securely overhead. So that is the reason why I missed on 85. So what you're seeing here right now is a really annoying set, because every time I dropped the bar, the camera got moved, and so you sort of see less and less of me doing the rep every single time. A little bit frustrating when you're setting the camera up like this, but it counts. You can still sort of see like 50% of me doing it on this last rep. But this is 83 kilos for a snatch triple, which is a PR for me. Considering my body weight is 80, 86 kilos at the moment, maybe even 87 depending on the day. Body weight snatch triple would be a pretty big achievement for me, and I think if I can get to the point where I'm tripling 90, I think a snatch PR is definitely in my sights. So yeah, if I can get a 90 kilo snatch triple, which, you know, I'm not a million miles away from, maybe a month or two out of that, if I can maintain this sort of current arc of progress that I'm on in the snatch, then we'll be looking at a 100 kilo plus snatch PR in the coming months. That being said, snatch went well, even though I did get a little bit greedy and try and go for an 85 kilo triple. I then finished up with some very awkward clean pulls. I don't know what it was, but without being vulgar, I just kept on hitting my junk on these fucking clean pulls, man. When I watch back, it looks really painful. It's not painful, it was just like I was just catching it on the way up. If this was like a actual power clean and the bar velocity was a little bit higher, I probably would have like hurt myself a little bit, but obviously because the weight was a little bit higher, I wasn't hitting it with that much speed and that much intent. But it was really annoying because no matter what I tried to do to adjust, other than there was nothing I could do to adjust it without stopping myself. I couldn't stop myself from hitting my junk, is basically what I'm trying to say. So the top set here was 140. I think what the issue was is that I was pulling too fast off the ground, being not controlled enough, and letting my hips rise up too much. So I think that's why I will adjust next time I do clean pulls. I also don't have a lot of training age on clean pulls. Haven't got a lot of experience doing clean pulls, but that is something I will keep in mind so that I don't hit my junk on next time I do clean pulls. Anyway, that is more or less it for today's workout, guys. Really appreciate the view, and I will catch you guys in the next video. As always, stay athletic.